All right, welcome everyone to No One is Perfect. I'm very excited with our guest today and what we're talking about AI. There's so much controversy around it and so many things that can be good about it. And thank you, Trent, for being with us to do this. And I think it's a great topic. I have a daughter who sent in a lot of stuff that she's concerned about, and it's good to talk about, both sides and kind of find out where we're at. So, Trent, welcome.
Thank you.
Happy to
It's
have you
great to be
here.
here. It's
Yeah.
great to be here. A little departure from maybe what you guys
And I
normally
have the
discuss.
Fosters. Yeah, the Fosters in stereo.
Let me just
Beautiful.
say, so people are aware, Trent is my husband
Yeah.
and has been in the world of engineering. That's his life. And last night we were having a discussion about AI and the different fears and the loves that I have for it and trying to understand it and learn it more. And so I'm really appreciative that you're here, Trent, because it's nice to have a conversation with someone who's in it, like
Yeah.
in that world every day versus making conclusions about what I think it is, what people are afraid of. And so to bring a little solid information and education about it, I think helps people who are afraid. There's
Yeah.
many ways people can be afraid of AI, so we're gonna leave it to you.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Great. Well, thank you. Yeah. So 30 plus years in applications engineering. Um, and in my career, been very, very lucky to work on some incredibly interesting, cutting edge things. I've done some government contracting, worked on stuff that, never saw the light of day for 10 to 20 years. So I really have been lucky. Um, I've actually done work in your backyard, Marty, and you know where that probably is. So space level stuff. Yeah, anyway, I've spent my entire life really at the center of technology, and for the last 20 plus years, I've worked for uh, one of the largest tech companies on the planet. And we really get to do and see a whole lot of interesting stuff. Um, we touch all the electric car market. We do a lot of things for Tesla and Nissan and things like that. We do a lot of stuff for government agencies. We do a lot of stuff in the medical world. So, yeah, I've been very fortunate and get to see a lot of cool stuff. Of course, now AI is taking over our lives.
Mm,
So, let's alleviate some fears. I think maybe is the goal for today.
yeah.
It is new. It is the new industrial revolution, and we can talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I would say in like simplest terms to all of us lay people, how can you explain what AI is?
Yeah, sure. I think the easiest way to think about it is it's a pattern recognition machine. Okay, so imagine the internet. In case we haven't ever thought about it, because we just take the internet for granted nowadays, right? But it's really all the information in our entire planetary history is the internet. And everything that's ever been done, said, written, thought of, every result of anything is now in the internet. It's just out there. And so AI is this incredibly powerful algorithm that's been developed and is currently being developed and is changing every day to go out to that large library of data and information and look at patterns and look for patterns. So now, if you think about it as a pattern recognition machine, okay, when I ask it to do something like, hey, I'm looking for a recipe for dinner tonight, and I want to make a stew, and I have these ingredients. Well, it's not really thinking about what your recipe is. It's going to go out there and look at the tens of millions of things that are out there to make a stew with these ingredients. And it's going to come back and give you a list of things and a bunch of instructions about what it thinks would work. All right. It's what it thinks would work. It's not maybe 100% correct, maybe not exactly what you're looking for, but that's AI in a nutshell. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
think I think we get caught up in this feeling that it's this ultimate computing machine and it doesn't make mistakes and it's, you know, running our lives and all this. And it couldn't be further from the truth right now. So we are in the age of what's called generative AI. That means it's just generating responses to your questions.
Mm.
What is quickly coming down the pipe, and what I've already seen examples of, is agentic AI. And a lot of our large corporations are now using agentic AI. That is an agent. Okay. So that's like having a personal assistant. And at my company, we use all of the Microsoft tools. So we use Word and Outlook and all these other, Excel spreadsheets and things like that. And each one of those tools now has a little AI button up at the top right that's an agent. And I can say, hey, see these emails? Please summarize those for me. And I'll come back to you later. So you can send it off to do tasks and it'll come back. And while you're going off and doing something else. So it raises your efficiency, right? You're doing more with the time you have available to work in a day.
Yeah.
There's just one example. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do you say to people like I mean, I've heard a number of people talk about the fears like it's going to take over the world and, it's going to command everything and we're not going to have a say anymore. It'll set off nuclear bombs. It's stealing artwork. I mean, there's so many fears out there. What do you have to say? What's your experience with that?
Well, we've certainly made enough movies since the early or late 60s to validate that
Yeah.
very thought. Have we not? Have we not? And there's been books written, some of the most famous books in history were written about these kinds of things, right?
Right.
Yeah.
What was the
So
one, 2000 and something? I'm like, that right
yeah,
came and went.
yeah,
A
yeah,
long
right,
time ago.
right.
Yeah.
So so I think part of that is um subconsciously it's already in the back of our minds because we've been hearing these stories and reading these books and watching these movies since, like I say, going back into the 60s. They were
Right.
making spaceman movies and things like that. Um, so I think it's already a fear that's kind of baked in, um,
Mhm.
but doesn't have the capability to do those kinds of things. If we take a huge step forward from where we are today, the answer is a maybe. Okay, so it's not really that capable of doing those kinds of things. Um, the agentic AI that I say is coming, pretty soon you'll have a personal assistant and you'll say, hey, I need to plan a vacation for October. Go book my flights. I want to stay at this hotel. I want to travel at these times. And it'll just go do it. It'll go right, fill your credit card, and just be done. So that virtual assistant AI, that's what's coming. I've already seen a little bit of it in the real world, in the professional world. I can tell you that almost all of the Fortune 500 companies today are using some form of agentic AI. So it's already in the corporations. Hasn't really made it to mainstream yet, but that's what we're looking at next. Can I tell it to go, start a war in some country somewhere? No, can't do that. It is being used in military exercises or equipment to do data reconnaissance, to do an analytics. It's mostly being used to keep warfighters out of danger. I mean, that's what we're doing, right?
Mm.
I spend a lot of my time working with drone companies, and we all know drones is a big thing right now, and it's that's really the technology of war right now is drones, and the biggest advantage of that is we're keeping people out of harm's way as much as
Mm.
possible.
Yeah.
So that's probably how AI is mostly being used in that aspect. But I also tell you there is a level of security, personal security.
That was my
Um,
next question.
do not put anything in an AI um, agent that you're using that you wouldn't tell a stranger at the bus stop. Okay, that's just a simple rule, and that's the rule of anything, right? So yeah, you could give it your banking information, or I have um, I have a book that I'm writing, and all of my notes, and I've got a couple of years of research. I just threw all of my notes in there, and I said, put this in a book, and I didn't know what it was going to look like. And it came back with 29 chapters. And I
Oh
mean,
my God.
it's a massive amount of information. And even that was my reaction. I'm like, holy crap, what have I been doing for the last 2 years? It was so much information. But the book sucks. The book's not my language. It's not,
Right.
I sent it to one of my friends who's also in the tech space. So I said, "Hey, read this. Just give me some inputs." And he knew where it came from, and he came back and said, "This would be great if it was in your language." Okay, so
Yeah.
that's AI. That's AI right there. So
Mm.
I used it to organize. I used it to create the chapters, create the subtitles, create the sections. But man, I still got to go in there and put my flavor on it, right? That's that's just one use of how AI is. It's not a thinking being machine. It just reacts to whatever you give it.
What about like people that use it for therapy? You know what I mean? There's people that I know that use it for therapy and some people tell me I get perspective. So
Absolutely.
it gives me a non-emotional perspective, which is really helpful to me. And then I had heard, which I think I sent you, Trent, like sometime there's some track, I have no idea what the truth of this is, that it's been tracked that some teens and that have actually committed suicide due to conversations that they've had with AI. Probably
I
chat.
can tell you, I can tell you that the teen suicide thing is real. It
Yeah,
has,
I've heard
and
that too.
that has been um, that has been discussed and presented back to the creators of AI. Those companies they're very well known companies. OpenAI is the creator and maintainer of ChatGPT. Um, Gemini is run by the Google organization.
Mm,
Those are the two most popular platforms on the planet. And they are very serious about exactly what you talked about. We cannot have this, impacting people's lives like that. And part of what happens is you start taking those answers as 100% truth, fact, or gospel in some cases, right? And it's
right,
not. It's just trying to look at the library of information, create a pattern, and respond back to what you're asking it. So, in the
right.
terms of therapy, if it asked a question about, "Hey, I'm depressed, and I just broke up with my partner, and you know this is how I feel," and it starts asking you questions that a therapist would ask you because it
Yeah.
knows how to do that. Because all that stuff's free information, right? And then you answer the questions, and then it starts talking back to you only in how you think or how it thinks it wants to respond. But it
Mm,
doesn't have empathy. It
No.
doesn't have feelings.
no,
It doesn't know that it's talking to a human. It's just talking to another keyboard on the other side of the screen, right?
interesting.
But
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
because
comes across as that.
it
Like what
does.
people are doing that for and is, well, I just feel so much better because it does give me perspective. And I think the risky part there is it gives you perspective based on your perspective
exactly.
and
Yeah,
not the responsibility of the other relationship piece.
right. Yeah, yeah.
And it
I,
it makes you feel like you're right when you might not be right.
No, yeah, absolutely. I could totally see that point of it, right? That
It can be
someone,
both.
because I have a friend that's like it's like her pal, and she's
Hmm.
used it to like talk about stuff that's going on in her life, and said, "Yeah, I get an objective perspective." There's a young guy, I'm trying to think of his name. I've seen him on YouTube. Is that Claude? I've heard this, they call it Claude. Is that
mhm.
ChatGPT or
No.
No, it's a similar platform,
okay,
different
so
company. Yeah.
yeah. So they're talking about Claude and he's asking it all these like spiritual, philosophical
Mhm.
like questions and getting these kind of like answers back that kind of blow his mind. And when I listen to him, I'm like, God dang, some of that sounds like the harshness that the answers come back with. So I could see that. I don't consider this young man vulnerable. I mean, but I was like, wow, I could see someone that's dealing with some mental illness issues that being problematic for them. Because when this guy, like when he reads back, I'm like, oh my God, like yeah, you talk about completely lacking, which of course it's going to lack empathy, but I can see that point where someone is just has such trauma that they've not dealt with that it's like,
Mhm.
yeah. It's kind of like going and asking like I'm going to use friend in air quotes. I mean, I know people that just they go and ask someone. I used to do this a lot. You ask someone that you're like, to help you with something. You're like, is that the person I really want to get this information from? Like, that's the person I'm going to use a barometer as emotional fitness to like
Right.
help me with this. That's kind of how I could see that could go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you we are headed in the right direction. Um, because those companies are taking these types of issues very, very serious.
Mhm.
Um, Even as near as like 90 days ago, you could go ask it things, nefarious types of things like, what's the best way to poison my neighbor's dogs? What's the best way
Oh,
to ruin their swimming pool? What's the best way to build a bomb? And things like that, right?
yeah.
And a few months back, it would tell you.
Mhm.
Now you ask it those things, and it comes back and says, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we're
I didn't.
already moving toward guardrails and safety. And some of them are better than others. I hear from, I have two sons that are in college. So they're of that age, right? They're right in the pocket. They're right in there. And one of them complains. He goes, yeah, Grok will tell me anything I want and chat won't. And it's true.
Yep.
Chat GPT has taken it serious and they have guardrails
Yeah.
and the others are following suit. So it's coming, it's getting better. It's probably never going to be foolproof, but these issues they're real issues and they really need to be addressed.
No, that's good to know. I mean, that's good to know because, my daughters talked about that too and the whole like had read up on the like suicide piece. Oh, and this is so I was like, it's just good to know because it does seem like yeah, guardrails are necessary. What about the thought like it uses a ton of water, fresh water, and then the water, it doesn't recycle the water or regentrify the water. That water's just toxic waste. Is there any truth to that?
So, uh, yes and no. They do use a lot of water, and you're talking about the data centers, right? So the AI engines are sitting in these large buildings called data centers, and really all it is a big building full of computers and full of massive amounts of data storage. And that's really the key is that how much memory is required to do these kinds of projects, right? So because we have so many computers running in a building, cooling is the major issue. So water is used just as a radiator, just as a like your car radiator, whatever. It's just run through pipes and it goes over fans and it's just used to cool the equipment. It's not used to treat the equipment. It's not used to create any chemical processes or anything like that. It's just used as a coolant. So the water in and of itself doesn't get contaminated. Nothing happens to it. It just evaporates over time.
I got
So
you.
you constantly need to add water. But that brings up the the why, where do we put data center questions, right? And for the most part, they're trying to put those in locations in northern states so that climate helps with the cooling. So
Interesting. Yeah.
you're not going to see a data center get put into southern Arizona.
Or
It will never work. It's way too expensive, right? Because it's 140 degrees in the summer. You've got to cool it. There's water. I mean, that's a problem. We are seeing data centers being put. There's one being built right now in the middle of Wyoming, and literally in the middle of nowhere. Perfect place for it.
right.
Wyoming is cold. It's high elevation. They have lots of power generation, lots of resources available, and they're not putting it next to a big city. They're not, eating up the city's, electrical grid or anything like that. So these things, you have to be smart about where they're going, and that's what's happening. So there is a water issue, and then there's the power issue, and
Yeah.
these are real concerns. They are.
Yeah. So they're probably not, are there any in New Mexico? Just curious.
Um, I don't know of any in New Mexico, but I wouldn't be surprised because they've
Yeah.
actually been around for a very long time.
Yeah, I just think of like water issues here. I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, even where I live is considered northern New Mexico, north of Albuquerque. But yeah, and I mean we have so many military things. We
Yeah,
have
you do.
bomb plant
Yeah,
going in 8 miles from here. So what's a
yeah,
data
yeah,
center?
yeah.
Well,
I
and
know that area.
don't
Yeah.
they recycle the water that they have?
Yeah,
They use
they
it.
do.
Oh, they do that.
Recycling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. They capture the water so that they don't have to keep um, what goes in goes out type of thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a finite amount of water that's used, and that does evaporate due to the cooling process, and so you're gonna have
Sure.
to add to it. But yes, they do reclaim, recycle, and reuse the water. There's no question.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. What's like, Christiane, you jump in here too, but like, what are some of the virtual assistant, what are some of the biggest benefits you see, especially in your world for AI?
Are you asking me or
Interesting.
Trent?
Sorry, Trent.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I've so for my professional career as an engineer, um, I use it every single day to offload tasks. So at the end of the day, I can really amplify my output of work. So and I would tell this to anybody that if you try to think about a way to use it. Well, what tasks during your day are the monotonous ones that you don't like, that have to get done, the little boxes that need to get checked, right? Like I need to build a presentation because I got to do this talk in 2 days. Well, just give it all the information and go tell it to build a presentation. While it's doing that, you go do something else, right? So
Mhm.
you multiply yourself, and that's how I use it. And it's been wonderful. I've been able to generate some very complex product designs that would take myself and an engineering team, several weeks to do, and I've been able to do
Mhm.
those in a few hours. So I mean, the amount of efficiencies that you can get are really, really incredible.
You use it, Chrissy, don't you, too, in your work?
I pretty much use it every day,
Mm.
especially what I love about it is when I'm creating slides or I'm teaching, I can put in the content that I want it to create and tell it how. The prompts that you give AI, from what I've learned, are probably the most important piece
Yeah.
to be very specific, but it has saved me hours on so many things. And I love creating an email if I need to, and then having it rewrite it to make it sound better because it does.
Hmm.
And I don't have it answer my emails. That is one I'm looking forward to. I don't quite trust that yet in my email system, but it doesn't mean that it's not safe. For me, I like it to get a little bit more developed before I give it more of my private work. But it's a game changer when it comes to teaching. And I think a really important piece is though, and in writing, it still needs to be the essence of you. It's a tool to use,
Yeah.
not a be all end all, because we can see when someone writes an AI post, for example, and you're
Oh, yeah.
like, there's no feeling in that. Like we're intelligent enough to be aware of, yeah, I don't feel them.
Right.
And to use AI as a tool, which is how I like to use it, and then adding my essence to it, adding my flavor to it, like Trent said, it saves me hours. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
And I've used it many times to say, what do you think about this? Because if I'm having a challenge with someone, I love perspective that doesn't care what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I could
That's how
totally
I
see
like
that.
to use it
Right.
because it thinks because of the content it has, it's aware of other aspects that I would never be aware of.
Right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I use it
It,
often.
yeah, Chrissy's a great Chrissy's a great test case. She doesn't come from that world, and
No.
she's talked for a long, long time, a couple of years, like, man, I really need an assistant, but I really don't need a full-time assistant. And I don't know
Right.
what I don't want to pay for a body, and I don't want to not pay for a body. And it's been a constant thing. And She adopted her AI tools probably more than a year ago, probably
Mhm.
15 months ago, and it has been a game changer. I mean, she's created
Nice.
so much content, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that, I mean, we use it here, Christy, on
Yeah.
the podcast, just pop our stuff in and just rewrite it. It happens fast. It just, that makes it easy. And I still feel like it has the essence, because you're inputting the data and that, rewrite this and make it sound better. So in that way, I like it. And yeah, just maybe not so much advice giving to somebody. I don't know. It just kind of depends. But what's your
Well,
thoughts on all that?
I I would say, hopefully somebody listens to this that maybe isn't using it or is dipping
Mhm.
their toe in the pool or something, right? So come up with some fun projects and treat it as a fun tool. It's like, what can AI really do for me? And I have a couple personal ones. I like to grow a garden, and the last couple of years, my garden struggled, and it's been super hot here, and I don't know, I'm just grasping at straws. And last spring, I used AI and I created a project around my garden, and I had the best garden year ever. And
Yeah.
that's just
Beautiful.
a dumb, it's a dumb, fun example, but hey, think outside the box and say, man, how can I, how can I grow better tomatoes and peppers? And oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And if here's the beautiful thing, I would have a time during the year when one of the plants was looking a little raggedy or whatever. You can take your phone, turn on your AI, take a picture, and it told me exactly what was wrong with that plant just based on the images.
Oh yeah, I have an app.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
right.
awesome.
That's funny. I use it for my sourdough baking. I'll be like, "Hey, check out
Right.
my dough starter. How's this look?" And then
I've
it'll tell
done the
me to tweak it.
same.
Yeah, like that to me is this sort of innocuous thing, and it's worked out great for that
I love it
simple
for
stuff like that.
sourdough. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it's easier than putting it in Google
yeah,
or looking on Instagram
yeah.
because it starts to tailor it for you.
Yeah, and then you take the photo and they're like, oh, it's right there at
Right.
peak and blah, blah, blah. So that's great. And I was thinking about my friend that uses it like really like as a buddy, and she definitely uses chat. So there are guardrails in place there. And she's the one that has said, I mean, I do get an objective perspective. And she's saying it's basically saying here, if it's especially if it's something she's doing with another human, it's actually giving her both sides. It's not, I mean, it'll affirm her, but it doesn't. And it's funny, she tells me it always says, I'm gently going to say this to you.
Mhm.
I mean, I think about me, I'd be like, don't say it to me gently, just tell it to me straight.
I love it. That's the guardrail,
That's the guardrail.
just in case you don't like what it says.
Yeah, which makes sense because yeah,
Mhm.
that I didn't, and I obviously I know enough about this to truly be dangerous. So the other one that's called Claude, is that you said that's
Mhm.
Gemini? Which
No, it clods its own thing.
oh,
It's another AI engine, different company.
and that's the one that hasn't had the best guardrails, probably.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and they each kind of have their own specialty or market that they're going after.
gotcha.
Claude is really going after uh, the software code generators. It'll write software, it'll do
Oh,
code, and it does heavy data analysis.
mm,
Mhm.
So yeah, you could use it for everyday stuff, but it's really good at those things. So you see it being used in those industries much more because that's where it's pointed.
yeah. Well, I love your idea, Trent, too, because that's what works for me. It's like my sourdough bread, my spelt starter and blah, blah, blah. Like make it just play with it for something that's, it's not, a high risk. You know what I
No,
mean?
it isn't.
And I
Yeah.
do like
Yeah.
what you said, like, don't say anything to it that you wouldn't want, like, I'll say it this way, splashed across the front page of a newspaper.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, if people are doing that, what are they gathering that data? What do they do if someone is using it as their like perspective therapist?
I mean, it's just the wrong use, right? It's dangerous. We can't be taking advice from a computer program, and that's all it is. It has
Hmm.
access to it, to all the data in the history of the world, and all it's saying is, "Oh, you asked me about, how to paint a house. Here's 900 ways to do that." It's not thinking; it's just
It's
responding
just,
with data.
yeah,
And
that's
that brings up another point, and the term that they use is sentient, right? And
what's it called?
Christie, sentient.
Sentient.
Christie
Oh,
has heard
sentient.
this, right?
Yeah.
And people are saying, well, it's sentient. It's now sentient. It's going to be sentient. And what does that even mean?
Mm.
I think
What
of
does
a
that even
dog or
mean?
a cat, a sentient being. Like,
Right. So what it really means, if we're going to define the term sentient, it's to be self-aware.
Hmm.
Okay. So at what point does the AI become self-aware? We're a long ways from that.
yeah.
But the way it responds to things and to people, it would be easy to say, man, that thing is sentient. It knows me inside and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I think it's just, and that is good to talk about on this podcast too. Just like you said, it's data. It's data that's going in there. And I could see how someone who's lonely or is not that, oh, this is my pal, like that kind of thing. So I can see with, you know, someone using it that way where it could be quite problematic. If you don't have
Yeah.
enough emotional intelligence, and I'm not saying that to be, or fitness to be like, hey, this is a data center and, I like what it's, giving to me here. And, but it's not like advice about my life.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Unfortunately,
spiritual.
we swung way far that way, right? And now we're trying to reel it back in. but, but it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. That's interesting.
What are some other, so just, we have Gemini, we have Claude, we have Grok,
Mhm.
ChatGPT. There's four. What
Mhm.
other ones are there that are out
Meta
there?
AI.
And Meta AI is Facebook, Instagram.
Instagram.
Oh,
Meta.
right.
Yeah. Um, yeah, here I gathered some demographic info before we got on this call. I didn't memorize it, so I'll have to look down and look
No,
at it.
that's cool. Look it up.
But here's like the top six. Okay, so Chat GPT, 900 million weekly users. And these numbers are going to blow your mind. These numbers, and that's why it's advancing so quickly because it's learning from every one of us that puts
Oh,
data in there. Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
so and they're the largest. And they launched in November of 2022. So it's barely 3 years old and it already has 900 million weekly users. Now, Google's Gemini, it's only been out this version of Gemini since middle of last year, I think.
Mm.
750 million weekly users. Okay. I mean, it's the numbers are just staggering. Gemini is the fastest growing AI engine out there.
Oh, interesting.
And it's my favorite. I love it. I absolutely love it.
What do you love about
And
it?
if you think about why would Gemini as being part of the Google ecosystem, why would it be better? So OpenAI is the company that launched ChatGPT. We just use the term ChatGPT by default, but the company's called OpenAI. Well, they're a standalone company, and they have to ask for permission to access certain files on the internet. And
Mhm.
you
Oh,
know, if the stock market says no, we don't allow you to use that information, then it can't answer questions about stock market things. Google, being the largest bunch of data in the universe,
Hmm.
obviously gives its tool Gemini ultimate access. So that's one way that it's better. The other way that I think it's better is it's super fast. And it does things for me like I do a lot of stock market research every day. I give it tons of data and have it do data analytics and things. And because YouTube is part of Google, it'll often send me a YouTube video and say, hey, here's a video that is talking about exactly what you're asking me. And
mm.
if I don't have time to watch the video, I go, okay, go watch the video for me and give me back the 10 points that I need. And it does it. It'll do it. And Chat GPT can't do that because it doesn't have access to YouTube.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So there's this playing field right now. We got this playing field of AI engines. So those are the top two. Um, Meta AI, that's Facebook, Instagram. There's they have a lot of users just because they have a lot of subscribers to
Right.
their socials. But their AI is not very good.
Okay.
Um, and then Perplexity is number
Mhm.
4,
Hmm.
and it's just a smaller, it's more Perplexity is focused on academics and research mostly. Um, then you have Microsoft Copilot in the number 5 spot, and it's big only because there's so many Microsoft users out there,
Mm.
right? I mean, of all the computers in the world, 5% run Apple and 95% run Microsoft. I mean, it's a huge thing, but their AI is not good. Um, I use it in my professional career. It's part of the, Word, Outlook, PowerPoint. It's built into all those things now, and it's kind of clunky. So I'm not a big fan. And then the sixth largest one is Claude that you asked about earlier, and Claude is mostly science, technology, engineering centric, writing deep
Interesting.
software, things like that. Yeah. So those are the
That's kind of
top
a
six.
jackass.
Yeah.
Just from
Yeah.
what I've heard. I mean, I don't know it,
Well,
but
it's very different from chat. I've used it and because I'm so used to chat. It's very
yeah.
difficult for me to get into another. It's like I have to get to know it and learn
Interesting.
the nuances of how to ask the right questions to get it to create something for me. It's a
Gotcha.
very different AI.
Yeah.
I have lots of
Yeah.
Yeah.
people who only use Claude because they love it. And I also think that's because they know it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. That makes
I
sense.
don't know Gemini really well. I use it, but not nearly how I use chat because I don't know it well enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny as I was listening to that guy that I told you about, if I could remember his name, I'd say it, but he uses Claude and just, I was like, yeah, I could see where that could be, like I said, not so great for somebody who's quite vulnerable. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Because it's not for the generic users.
No, it
It's
isn't.
not it's not targeted at that, but it still does those things.
Mm,
But really Chat GPT and Gemini, that's probably where I would steer most everybody to.
yeah.
Um, I have written a ton, like thousands and thousands of lines of code using Chat GPT. So it can do it. It can do it too. It just depends on how complex things are. But um, yeah, that's the lay of the land in the AI world for now.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really helpful. Is there any, Chris, do you have anything else? I was thinking, any thoughts to takeaways that you want people to garner?
I often hear people say to me, I'm scared that there's like a, I want to say, and this ages me for sure, Skynet from Terminator, right? That it's the machines are going to take over. And I hear
Yeah.
that more often than the love of AI.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere, first and foremost. It's
Yeah.
going to continue to grow. And part of the reason why I wanted Trent to come on is to create some education around it, because I think when we become educated, this fear.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
And if we understand it, how it's created, what it puts out, like Trent said, it's data, it's content that's put in and then it spits it out. It's not sentient, it's not feeling into your soul and giving you information back. Like there's some really funny things happening right now with AI that um, people thinking that it understands more than it does because it can't right now. It's a computer program.
Oh, and I mean, Trent, that's so great, Christine, to your point, Trent. It's like it's data.
Yeah.
It's
mm,
data. So, and it was funny, I was going to date myself. 2001, A Space Odyssey, and that came out in
yeah,
1968. I was born in
that's
1962. I was still too young to really watch it, but I was like, that was like the future. We're
Yeah,
screwed, and
yeah.
here we are again. I do have this kind of interesting thought sometimes. Like, I mean, let's just say this is maybe oddly spiritual. If anybody has this belief, and I'm not suggesting everybody should, like if everything is part of spirit, universe, God, Fred
Mhm.
Flintstone, the dinosaurs, whatever you want to call it, this is too.
Yes, I would agree with that
There's
because
something in, yeah,
what I agree, I think it's a reflection because it has all the information that's been created by humans.
yeah,
I do
good,
think it's a little bit of a reflection of our intelligence.
yeah.
Like, I think the word artificial in my brain doesn't fit that because all the data that's gone in are from really intelligent human beings.
I never thought about it that way. That's really true. I
And we
mean,
get access. Like, I'm thinking of, I started a dream folder and I love putting both into, one in chat and one in Gemini because I love Carl Jung and I can
oh
ask it to
yeah,
give me specific information through the lens of Carl Jung because the content's in there.
right.
It's brilliant. I love
It
that.
does it. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
they're amazing.
I mean, I
so,
think, yeah, like that's to me like the proper use of it, and again, it's like anything. I mean, somebody can overeat carrots. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so I just think there's a lot to do with the user and then the user's personality and their mental well-being as well. I think um, I mean, I think that's fair, to say that as well. So,
I think too, Marty, to go back to your point about, we're all connected to some higher thing, right? This higher source, whatever your belief systems are. Um, we all have intuitive thoughts and feelings, whether we want to admit to it or not. They're there. And any AI has no intuition.
mm,
It is exactly what Christie said. It merely is reflecting the information of our entire history of existence. That's it.
yeah,
It does not have any feelings or
no.
intuition or any of that. That's still a human thing, right? That's not going
Absolutely.
away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think and I think it's people can't be reminded of that enough. But I do
Right.
like that thought,
Exactly.
like it's a collection of all the human consciousness,
yes,
that's out there and thoughts and all that stuff, right or wrong, good or bad,
right.
whatever you want to call it. So take that into account too. Like I said, do I really want to get advice from that person? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. So, well, Trent, this was like illuminating. I mean, I really
Good.
appreciate you doing it. I love how it just worked out today.
Yeah. Well, I think it's helpful. There
It,
again, education is power.
it is, because and there's so like if it's on Facebook, it's got to be true. If it's on Instagram, it's got to be true. Instead of
Yeah.
like, yeah, doing the fact checks, and I mean, who better than someone that's dealing with it and uses it?
I and I think the socials have never been more misinforming than they are right now.
Oh God, I
It
so
is
agree
so
with that.
insane. And
I
it's
mean,
funny because I get messages from like Christy's mom or my mom, right? And they're on their Facebook pages and they'll send me something and they believe this person made this video and said these things. Um, and it's not true. I can tell by looking at the video, it's completely AI
yeah,
generated.
I fact check everything. I mean, because there's just so much misinformation, and even like the good stuff, like me, Christy, animal rescues. I can totally tell when they're AI, but I still go, that's still sweet.
Yeah,
Well, you do. We laugh all the time at the videos.
Yeah, the videos, you're just like, how like that is seriously AI. Like, yeah,
Well, I think it's getting, and this might even be a year out, it'll be to where we won't be able to tell. I just think it's a matter of time. Right now, we still can, which is why it's good to be educated about it
yeah.
for yourself, because I think that we're getting close to not being able to tell the difference.
Hmm.
Because it just gets the the videos get better and better, and we see the
Right.
breathing, we see the skin, we see everything is
Yeah.
more human-like.
Well, and even to say that I hear this term about AI, it gets smarter. I was like, doesn't it just get more data? Like, is it really getting smarter, Trent? Is that, or is it
It is.
Yeah.
It is getting smarter. And I'll give you an
interesting?
example. Um, in my daily stock market research, I upload quite a bit of data every morning, and I have an algorithm that I tell it to run, and then it comes back and it says, "Oh, this is what I'm seeing. This is, here's what you asked for." Well, the next day I do that, it goes, "Oh, by the way, there's a pattern forming." And now that I've done this for several years, now it can look back on my several years of work, and it's very, very good at seeing those patterns. So that's how
Whoa.
it gets smarter, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
It just gets better and better at the repetitive task.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
the data that I give it is the same.
Yeah.
I give it the same set of data every day, but it's gotten better at how it interprets it.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we can say that's getting smarter. I say it's just getting, better, more
Yeah.
efficient. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. That's
Mm.
good clarification. Wow.
You
Well,
learned a lot today. So did
I
I.
did. Thanks, Fosters.
Thank you, Trent, for being here
Yeah,
today.
Yeah,
that was great.
it was great. Appreciate it. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time. And everyone, like and subscribe if you like what the content we're putting out. Please tell your friends, share the videos, and we're all over the place. So we appreciate it. Thanks again, Trent. Always great to see you,
Yeah, take
Christy.
care.
Thank you.